when you've booked a week's diving in the UK and the first day comes out with a sea state and weather like this.
Of course, there's still more of it here.
There's a wreck down there somewhere.
Picture of the Waverley, which will be very similar as to the Normandy. It was a paddle steamer and she was 550 tons, 210 feet long, capable of a speed of 15 knots. And she sunk on the 17th of March 1870, sailing from Southampton, and she sunk due to collision in fog. Today the wreck lies well broken and is in three main sections. You've got the bow section, you have the engines, which is amidships on a paddle steamer, and this section, which is the stern. This is quite good viz for the Normandy. I've dived it twice before and this is the best viz I've seen on it, which is probably about 8 to 10 metres. And it's the first time I've actually managed to dive all three sections on one dive, which makes it quite an interesting video. And this just coming up to now is a brass toilet, which shows one of the things that shows the quality of the ship that was built. And here's Dave and Rob, both on for a bit of a mission. They're looking for the bow and the debris field next to the engines. This stern section is really well smashed up and there aren't many discernible features on it. And then I spot a lobster, and start of a week's diving. I know I'm not going to see my good girlfriend for a few evenings, so I'll be busy doing gas runs, etc. And decide, and in it goes. From there we make our way towards the midships, and as you can see it's got a net over it, and this main lump here is the engines. And there isn't actually a lot known about the steam engine of the Normandy, because back in the 1860s when she was built they were like top secret bits of technology, like almost like Formula 1 racing cars are today. So this is quite an important discovery on Pete's part, who first discovered the wreck in 2002. I can see all these pipes here, heat exchangers for the boiler, which has obviously been completely blown open. And you've got a large flywheel, quite a lot of brass fittings in this area. It's quite a good area to have a bit of a scavenge, and you can see that there's a nice brass pipe fitting. And you can see on a good day there's good ambient light even at 48 metres, and lots of fish in the summer. There's the net. When I first dived this wreck, this net was actually opened up. Today it looks nice and twisted up, so it's a lot safer. This looks like it could be a head to one of the cylinders. Early steam engines ran on very low pressure steam, which is why they had such big cylinders. High pressure steam was thought to be too risky. This arm sticking out is where one of the paddle wheels would have been, which is obviously rotted away, but you can still see the shaft and the remains of the paddle wheels, and that goes right across the top of the engine. And right across to the other side. Big brackets and mountains holding it down, because obviously it would have driven the ship forward. You can see the end of the spokes where they've rotted away. Look, shaft complete, the net on the other end. then continually heading forward towards the bow. It's a bit of a debris trail you have to follow, but in this viz I'm actually helped by seeing lights of other divers in the distance. And that faint light in the distance gives me an indicator where the rest of the bow lies. You can see the girders lying on the floor and the debris trail of plate, which leads you to some larger sections of wreck. And here we are coming up on the bow section. Still fairly well broken and not really a lot left, but probably the most intact part of the hull left. And I'm looking at these holes thinking, is this where portholes have corroded themselves out of the side of the hull? And some along a bit further. I look down, and is that a porthole I see? Lying in the sand, just falling out of the wreck, waiting for me to pick up. Oh, bit of metal on it. Move it out of the way. Whee! Happy days. Porthole and a lobster. Can't be a bad start to Pete's Deep Week. Just check my gas, make sure I've got enough to blow it before I clip my bag on.
You don't have to go to church to have faith.
And in goes the gas. And up she goes. Described as an excellent start to a week's diving. I get my bag off and go.
Good weather and the brass continue. Happy days. Nice one, Rob. Nice one, Dave. Porthole and a lobster. Can't be a bad day out. With the teeth of the missus.
And obviously we were in such high spirits with Adam here and Steve, his buddy, still in the water. We didn't realise what was going to put a bit of a downer on the day, in fact the whole week. They hadn't done anything wrong on their ascent, but Steve had problems when he hit the surface. And we had him on O2 within seconds. Pete had called the helicopter and had delegated us to write down all the details of the dives he'd done, and by the time the helicopter got here, although we had him covered up, we didn't even have a chance to move him. It was about 8 minutes from the call, and you just feel so reassured that our Coast Guards are so brilliant and do such an excellent job. Although Adam didn't actually want to go with Steve because he wasn't showing any symptoms, he did agree to go, and we all met him later on with his gear, and Steve had actually had a serious spinal bend, and he did agree for me to use this footage in my video, and I look forward to him watching it as a memory of his diving. As he said, it's something to show the grandchildren. Why Grandad walks with a limp. But hopefully he'll make a full recovery, and you know, he's back diving with us soon.
There he goes. I'm out for that, Bill. Spot on.